everyone, this is Hiba from My Little Journal, and today I'm excited to be sharing Volume 2 of my 2020 Project Life album. I have a flip through of Volume 1, so if you haven't seen that, I will link it up at the eye for you. But today I'm going to be flipping through July through December, so that's the second half of the year. And I always start my Project Life album with a 6x12 photo of my family. I used to do this in my 12x12 albums, and I'm sticking to it now. I've done it for like 10 years now, and I really like that look. I just ended up adding my tribe, this little acrylic piece from Color Cast Design. I usually just keep it very simple, very easy, and I like to kind of document recent photos. So this was literally from, I think, May. So it just ended up in my second half of Project Life. So before I start, I wanted to share, because I got asked about these a lot last time. I use these dividers from Becky Higgins to divide my months. I've had these for years. I do not know if they're still available. If they are, I will try to find them and link them in the description box for you. But I bought them back in the day and I had plenty of packs. I only have one more left, and I will be using it for 2021. After that, I have to find some other way. But I just like them. I like to add them to divide the months, and I just stamp the month up top. And sometimes I use the little stickers that came in that pack. But you will also notice that most, I'm going to say 99% of my photos are us at home. We are in a pandemic. We were not going out. We're staying safe. And this is what I love about Project Life. It documents your life today. And going through this album, it reminds you of what happened that year. And as we are living in a pandemic, you want to document that. So all my photos, or 99% of my photos, are at home, and I'm okay with that because that's my life today. It was the 4th of July in week 27. We did not do anything for the 4th of July, just a little bit of fireworks. It was even our neighbors who did the fireworks, so I documented that. I love journaling on my photos. It saves space, and especially that I only use a 12x12 for each week. So I like to do that, and here I'm just documenting playing with Stitch outside. Also documenting staying 6 feet apart at the grocery store. It's the little things, you guys. I always say this, Project Life, you don't have to document a million photos. It's not about that. It's about documenting you today. And if you want to document your coffee cup, go for it. If you want to document your dog, go for it. You know, just document what you feel that you want to remember 10 years from today. In week 28, I believe these cards are from Kelly Perky. I love using colorful cards in the summer. I love to use fall colors in the fall. It's just something I enjoy, and I think it really represents the month. So we're in the summer, so I use these cards from Kelly Perky. They're so pretty. Again, documenting playing with Stitch, my son's friends coming over and playing their instruments. That's our life at the moment. We lost John Lewis that week, and it was heartbreaking. So, of course, I wanted to document that. I have been planting and growing avocado trees, which was a big deal in the month of July because they were growing and they were beautiful. So we're really excited about it. Shopping for my son's dorm room. So I added my journaling on my photo, again, to save space on my spreads. And Stitch over here found a turtle in the backyard. So cute. Crafting with friends. I love that, you know, around the pandemic, there was a lot of crafting with friends. So I really enjoyed documenting that. Cooking, always cooking. Around the pandemic, we were rarely eating out. So I was documenting how much I hate cooking and how much I had to cook. Documenting these two guys always napping together. So cute. We were building puzzles like crazy. My daughter and I love building puzzles together. So documenting building our puzzles. There's so many photos throughout my album of us doing a puzzle. And again, that was our life at the moment. So of course I was going to document that. My fig tree, growing figs, and they were beautiful and so yummy. It was the Eid holidays, so I documented that. my car broke down, and documenting that as well. I try and I tend to keep it simple, maybe adding a little embellishments here and there, but always trying to keep it simple because I just want to get it done. I want to be able to look through this and enjoy it. And if you overdo it, you will never finish your project, and it defeats the purpose of being able to flip through it and enjoy it. So definitely keep it simple. This is week 32. Lebanon had the big explosion, so I like to add tidbits of the news throughout my album as well. I love cutting out some of my cards and backing up my photos with them. And my daughter, I let her have a few friends over and they got to spend the day outside. That was a lot of fun. Again, documenting packing for my son. We were gonna, I think it was the next week, he went to UGA, so I wanted to document that. Yes, and this week in week 33, we drove to Athens and dropped him off. So I added more journaling, documenting what went on. So, like little photos of the highway. We haven't been out of the house for weeks, and just fixing up his dorm room, getting it all ready. And I love these little tidbits of the day, just seeing how we were standing in line so we can get to his room, and them pushing the carts and moving everything in. So little things like that, I really enjoy that. And by the way, I like to add inserts when I have extra photos. I'd rather add inserts than have multiple spreads for 1 week. I do have multiple spreads for 1 week, but I tend to like adding the inserts instead. So that was week 33, moving on to week 34, where my daughter started school. And so I documented that, added a little bit of journaling. I sometimes like to do little pockets for extra photos. So I made this little pocket from this 3x4 card. It was like a lunchbox. So I trimmed out the lunchbox and added my photos inside. And I like that. I also added my journaling as well. And I just literally slide it into the pocket. Again, documenting her, this is school, because she is online. So kind of documenting her in class. And some more photos of my son's dorm room. He had fixed it up with his roommate, and he sent me a few pictures. So I added some journaling and just a screenshot of us FaceTiming. I miss him so, so much. Week 35. So in week 35, literally, my son was on campus for 10 days and he caught the virus. So I had to bring him back home, but he was stuck in his room the whole time. He was quarantining just so we can stay safe. And I documented the meals I was prepping for him while he was stuck in his room. We were FaceTiming because he was in his room and he wasn't allowed to leave his room. So FaceTiming him, kind of documenting the process of having someone with COVID-19 in the household and testing for COVID, little things like that, just talking about that. Once he was done with his quarantining, I think it was like 10 or 14 days, he was able to leave the room. So I kind of documented how excited Stitch was to see him, us going back and testing again. So I just kind of journaled about that, little tidbits of our life. And I love this kit. This was from the Paper Person. It's so pretty and so fallish, so it worked really well in September. And I'm still using that same kit from the Paper Person. I really love this kit. I did create a flip here. I had extra journaling, so I created a flip pocket. I took my daughter to get a haircut. She'd been driving me nuts for a haircut, and because we've been home for so long, I was like, you know what, this is a good opportunity to take her out, get her a haircut, and she cut it, you guys. She cut it really, really short, but I really like how it looks. In week 38, we lost the amazing RBG, so I added that and kind of documented about that or journaled about it. Documenting Stitch destroying every single toy we get him. So I added that into my spread. Just tidbits, like if my son sends me photos, I try to add that as well. They opened a little marketplace for the students on campus, so I added that and just a little bit of journaling about that. He also made it on a magazine, which is really cool. Week 39, as you can see, again, staying at home. At the beginning of week 39, I was still FaceTiming with my son. He was on campus, but by the end of the week, he was able to come home and visit. So I was documenting him playing the harmonica for Stitch, and Stitch loves it when he does that. And you can see sometimes I have a lot of journaling, like over here, and sometimes I don't, and that's okay. I just was documenting my daughter getting a brace for her finger because she broke it. So we had to go to the doctor's office and get that done. Documenting going to the library. Again, another little pocket situation here. I just trimmed my 3x4 card. Let me pull this out real quick. And then I added one photo and some journaling in that pocket. And I really like how this turned out. And whenever I find the opportunity to do that, I go for it. And I really, really like that. Another flip pocket here. I had some extra journaling. Well, let's say I didn't have space on my spread to add my journaling, so I just did a flip pocket for that. Took my son to do a little bit of shopping before he goes back to school, and documenting the debate between the Vice President Pence and Harris. And all I did was I wanted to kind of document her saying, "I'm speaking." So I just used some white alphas there. Because I've been cooking so much, I did a little collage of what I was cooking, what we ate, what I was baking. So there was just a few photos that I really wanted to document, and I added them in a collage. Another great way to save space on your spread. If you have a lot of photos, but you don't have the space, definitely create some collages in there. My daughter and her friends hanging out outside, and my son trimming his beard, but leaving his mustache. I thought it was hilarious. There was like a little moment where I was like, "You look hilarious. You look like Burt Reynolds." And he was like, "Who's Burt Reynolds?" So I kind of used a Studio Calico stamp set here to document that, like a little speech bubble, and I love it. That's my beautiful niece. Week 43, we were able to vote early, and this is in October, I believe, and this was my son's first time voting, so of course I had to document it. I used all kinds of stuff. I think these were from the Paper Person shop, the cards, and then I used Studio Calico's vote stamp set, kind of documented that moment. And because I had an extra photo, I decided to do a little flip pocket. Let me pull this out real quick. And I love this flip pocket. I just stamped the United States and then added a little heart on Georgia. Really cute. And that stamp set is from Studio Calico. It is one of my favorites because you can kind of document moments like that when you're voting. In week 44, it was my daughter's birthday. So this is where I end up adding an insert because I wanted to document her birthday. As you can see, these are photos from her birthday. I let her have a few friends over. So I did a lot of collages to make sure that I can fit the photos I had. And I also had things that were going on throughout the week other than my daughter's birthday. So I wanted to document that. Even did another collage and created a little flip pocket. And I really like how this one turned out. I don't know why I don't do this more often, but it gave me space to journal and space to add my photos. That week, we had a huge storm in Georgia, huge. We were out, like no electricity. It was crazy outside. Trees fell on houses and cars. So I wanted to document that and where I stand kind of thing. Also, another photo from my son. I tend to always remind him to send me photos so I can add them into our album because he is still a part of the family, even if he's not living at home right now. And crafting with friends, always so much fun. In week 45, I was able to go and see my mom and sisters and really enjoyed that time together because we don't get to do it as often anymore. So I documented that, getting my Stamp Addict t-shirt, of course, had to add that in week 44. Another puzzle, building another puzzle with my daughter. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of that happening. And in week 40, this is 44, right? No, 45, It was election week. And when I say election week, because it took over a week. So I'm documenting Joe Biden and Vice President Harris getting elected. And I was so, so excited about it. I used the Paper Persons We Are the People kit, I believe that's what it's called, and kind of documented that, documented photos from Google, grabbed whatever I could from Google. This one's definitely my favorite photo here. And this was me crafting and watching the news as well. So little tidbits here and there. I thought of using my own photos because I did have a few photos, but they were dark and grainy and not the best. And I thought, you know what, it's okay to represent this week. I can just grab photos from the internet. That's okay. It still works. And of course, I had to document Georgia turning blue. Week 47, staying at home. My son is home now because this is like coming up to Thanksgiving week. So he's home and he's online and kind of documenting them loving and always stealing what's mine. I got that as a gift and they wanted to use them. We moved our bookshelves around in our we have a small couch that we moved upstairs and then moved the bookshelves downstairs. So I journaled about that. I just actually took it to my typewriter and added my journaling and stamped pivot because this was a hassle, you guys. It was truly a hassle. And just a little picture here of my sister and I. I love documenting our walks, especially when we go to the spots. It's just so beautiful and kind of celebrating that my son's home for the holidays. And so I added some journaling, did a little flip because I really wanted to use as many photos as I could, but I didn't have enough space to journal. So I like to do the flip pockets and just documented him and I taking Stitch for a walk, and it was a lot of fun. And I love that I was able to use some really old cards in the spread. I tend to do that. You know, sometimes I share with you new kits and I use them, yes, in my spreads, but I always tend to go back to my stash and use up what I have. So I'm not the type of crafter that kind of forgets about my old stuff. I try to use new and old throughout my album. Week 48 is all about Thanksgiving. So I was documenting that. I had extra journaling and extra photos, so I used an insert. And to use my inserts, I just trim off the other half of my 6x12, and that way I create an insert. So that's how I do it. But you could definitely keep the whole 6x12 and add an insert. But I like that they're smaller, so it just gives me that extra space. And you can kind of tell that it's still a part of week 48. In week 49, we got a little bit of snow in Georgia, which is crazy. I can't believe we got a little bit of snow in December. So I added 2 photos, some journaling, also documenting how I am grocery shopping, which is literally just going and picking it up. And talking about Stitch going to the vet. He was not feeling well, and we found out that he had an ear infection. So the little things, you guys, that's what's important. Anyways, documenting seeing my sister and niece. It always makes me so happy seeing them. Documenting starting a book club on Instagram, which is so exciting. Tidbits, another puzzle there. I told you there's a lot of puzzle building. Week 51 was really exciting. It was the runoff races in Georgia. So I was documenting us going and voting early. And I just added a little bit of journaling here and there. And I love this card. I think it fit perfectly with this week. And it just has a quote from John Lewis. And I love it so, so much. Week 52, I did a little boo-boo. I like to add my week usually on the first spread, but I forgot to add week 52. And I ended up just adding it to my insert or my extra page, so which is not a big deal. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I was documenting my son turning 19. So the first spread is all about him turning 19, added some journaling on my photos, again, to save some space, and then documented the extra photos that I had from that week, just getting a really very yummy gift from a friend, some really good cookies. The beautiful sky that day was just amazing, and the frost, just little things like that. And that's about it. That is week 52. That is my flip through of volume 2 in my Project Life album. I love Project Life. This is my 10th year doing Project Life. Well, 2021 is going to be my 11th year, I believe. So I'm just loving this project. It's my favorite. I love looking through them and seeing how my kids have grown, what happened the year before, and just kind of documenting my journey and my family's. It's just something very special to me. And I always say this, just create, just document. Don't feel like you have to do it in a certain way. Don't feel like every week has to be the same or the style has to be the same. It took me years to kind of grow and find my style and find my rhythm with this. So, just take it easy, enjoy it. I always say you don't have to have a million photos a week. You can even just document 1 week on one side of your spread. Like if you were working with 6x12, just use one page protector to document your week and you're still good. It doesn't have to be full of cards and full of photos. I think it's a great project. You can make it your own. It doesn't have to be a certain way, and just have fun and enjoy it and document your journey. But before I wrap this up, I did want to mention that I have a process video almost for every single layout in this album. So I will link it up in the eye for you. I hope you check that out. And I will be sharing very soon my first few spreads in my 2021 album. I'm really excited to start a new year and share that with you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.